At the edge of the center stream on Planet ARK, we find two giant islands surrounded by smaller ones, sometimes connected to one another. Yellow beaches and green palm trees decorate the crystal clear water as it reveals the several creatures live on these small land masses completely surrounded by the ocean. From this area, one can get a glimpse of many different places that Planet ARK has to offer, but for today, we will focus mainly on the northern major island to the east. The island goes by many names due to its shape like a horseshoe, with a small creek leading deep inside the island's heart, revealing a beautiful small beach surrounded by high cliffs and an alcove. High on top of the island, one finds lush forests and jungle, hiding and giving shelter to many different species of prehistoric creature. And all around the island, an elegant strand of beach sand completes the area known and crowned by some scientists as Turtle Beach. Though the open beach is home to different types of animal, the dominant species has got to be the Carbonemus. In simpler terms, it can be seen as a giant tortoise, though unlike a tortoise we know on Earth, this type of animal can actually swim and therefore resembles a mix between a turtle and a tortoise. The Carbonemus chooses these beaches surrounding the island as their nesting grounds. Much like the turtles that we are used to, they return to the same nesting spot each time. But all throughout the year, they stay relatively close to the spot where their eggs hatch. They share the beach with a number of animals, including the flying pteranodon. The openness of the beach might seem as a disadvantage to herbivores and make them easy prey for predators. But since these creatures can fly, this is none of their concern. They mostly feed on fish found in the nearby waters. Their long beak is filled to the brim with razor-sharp teeth, ideal for mincing up caught prey in a matter of seconds before devouring it. If a pteranodon is not able to make a catch, eventually they are known to prey on smaller dinosaurs or infants as well. Where the Carbonemus chooses the open beach as their nesting spot, the pteranodons prefer the high cliffs alongside the beach, where often the mothers tend to their young until they are old enough to fly. The cliff is a much safer spot than the beach, though it has occurred during stormy weather that eggs have blown out of the nest due to strong winds. In the nearby shallow waters, many fish make their home and come close to the surface like the coelacanth. Their silhouettes give away their position, making them easy prey for the pteranodon soaring into the sky above. Hunting is not without its dangers, as these waters are also home to the megalodon, the giant prehistoric sharks. Though they prefer the deeper end of the waters and rarely come this close to the surface. As the pteranodon prefers the sky, Turtle Beach can be considered the safest place as there are no other predatory birds in its vicinity. This has led to the evolving generation to have very bright looking color patterns, as they don't need to adapt to camouflage to survive in this environment. Though there are no other giant predatory birds like the Argentavis present at this island, they did share this area with some other flying animals that hunted in the ocean the same way as the pteranodon did. Fish, in a way, was the thing many of the creatures at Turtle Beach had in common. Though the Carbonemus ate small plants and berries too, its swimming capabilities made it to where they often went out to hunt for fish in the nearby water. But this did not come without risk. Meet the oviraptor. The oviraptor was the closest thing that the beach inhabitants could label as a pest. Only this one came with one exceptional danger: its fondness for eggs. Whenever some of the turtles went into the water to hunt, they left their nests exposed. It was common for them to lay their eggs close to their fellow Carbonemus and resemble more of a pack or group. This way, they ensured there would always be some turtles there to defend the eggs. But the oviraptor was small, agile, and kept a close eye on an opening and an opportune moment. Usually, the ones that went hunting were females that had stayed with the eggs for several days without eating anything. If more than one Carbonemus was seen to enter the water to hunt, this gave a signal to the oviraptor that one or maybe more of the nests were not as well guarded. The oviraptor's beak contained no teeth, but was sharp at the end, perfect for cracking the eggs or transporting it easily into its mouth without breaking it. Its long, flexible arms were also perfect for a snatch and grab and quickly disappear into the jungle. But where the oviraptor was only a real danger to the Carbonemus' eggs, in the water, there was more danger lurking around. Once again, it was rare for a big predator to come this close to the shore. The danger of beaching itself was high, and thus many avoided this place. The Carbonemus' shell was full of large spikes and covered most of its body to keep it protected. Its speed increased significantly once it glided through the water, but it wasn't particularly good at diving. The turtle had one weakness, and that was its soft underbelly. And with the animal not being able to dive well, it could often not see what was approaching from underneath. Though it was rare, there have been occasions of Carbonemus being devoured by the megalodon, sometimes even a group. We will delve deeper into the behavior of these magnificent creatures in another episode. But luckily, there were more friendly faces to be found on Turtle Beach. One of those was the quirky-looking Parasaurolophus. Though the beach was not really its home, it preferred the more covered meadows or jungle area up on top, they did come over to the shore once in a while. The Parasaur lived in herds, and this island had everything to offer them of what they wished for. The jungle, with its thick vegetation, offered a vastly varied offering of different plant life for the herbivores who lived here. Where some of these plants were poisonous to some of the wildlife, the stomachs of the Parasaur created this antitoxin which made them able to eat a lot more of the berries and plants that could be found here. They used their beaks to crush the leaves and plants to easily swallow and digest. The Parasaur had no means of defending themselves. Luckily for them, their size made them not a target of prey for some of the smaller predators that could be found here. This is probably one of the reasons why this species thrives so much on this island to the north. The way the Carbonemus would defend itself was with its head and mouth. Though the spikes on its back look menacing, their only purpose is to protect the turtle. Right above their eyes, they have small spikes, and the top of their skulls have reinforced bone, somewhat comparable to how a Pachycephalosaurus has this, except less thick. If the Carbonemus feels agitated, it first calls out to other mates to help, and then they stomp down their attacker with their heads and bite into them with their beaks. Some of the predators they would come into conflict were the Dilophosaurus. These creatures were the main predators here on the island, but their small stature made it to where they would mostly concentrate on smaller prey. They ate creatures like insects, small rodents, smaller birds, but sometimes would also attack a turtle if they were not able to get food for days. The Dilophosaurus catches its prey by sneaking up on it if it's considered an easy kill, or by paralyzing it with its spit. The Dilophosaurus has a lot of poison glands that become active when need be. The spit itself burns and irritates skin, and can cause blindness once hit in the eye. This makes it easier for the Dilophosaurus to eat its prey if it's stunned like that. They often hunt alone, but it has also occurred that they travel or hunt in packs of 2 or even 3. But there is one giant disadvantage that they have. Much like poison frogs or fish on planet Earth, the bright color of the Dilophosaurus works as a defense mechanism to showcase that they are poisonous. But the color makes them easy to spot for herbivores, especially on a place like Turtle Beach. It is therefore not uncommon that an attack ends in failure of the Dilophosaurus as the hunter became the hunted. Their easiest prey came in the form of the dodo, small, petty, slow, and absolutely unable to defend itself. If a Dilophosaurus would attack a dodo, it would not need to resort to using its spit. Its teeth would do the job just fine. Now, Turtle Beach is just one of the places that can be found on the northern island, and this place has so much more to offer. Join us in the next episode, where we enter the jungle and see what new creatures lie in wait here, where the shade of trees and bushes gives life and shelter to never-before-seen animals. We will also head deeper into the alcove and take a closer look at some of the rarest animals that can be found on the northern island before moving on to even more exciting places. I hope you liked the first episode. If you want to see more narrative content, please consider becoming a patron on my Patreon page, of which the link can be found in the description below, and follow me on Twitter for previews of what's coming to the channel. See you guys on the next episode of Planet ARK.